Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Dre Sanchez Airlines. On behalf of our entire flight crew, thank you for choosing to fly with us today. We're expecting a smooth and comfortable flight, and everything is lining up nicely to get you to your destination on time. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey as we take care of you at 30,000 feet. We truly appreciate you flying with Dre Sanchez Airlines and hope you have a pleasant and enjoyable flight. Once again, welcome aboard and thanks for joining the stream.
Alright everybody, wheels up, and we're now going to be entering a right crosswind to be in the pattern for runway 31 left, even though we just departed from runway 31 right. We are here now at Palm Springs International Airport in a right closed traffic pattern for a full stop landing. Palm Springs International is a medium-sized multi-use airport located on the northern end of the city of Palm Springs, California. The traffic at this airport is a mix which includes general and corporate aviation, air carriers, and military. This is an exceedingly dangerous airport because of the mountains, in which one of them is San Jacinto Peak, which is just over 10,000 feet, within 10 miles of the west side of the airport. Guys, I'm looking forward to today's stream. I want to say thank you for joining, and let's have some good airtime. Alright y'all, let's do this, fam bammers.
All right, what is up, my G's? Good to see each and every one of you again, even though technically I can't see you, but I know you're out there. Capital G, capital O, capital D, thank you for waking me up and blessing me with another day. And big up to wifey and kids. Appreciate you guys 100%. And guys, welcome back to the stream. Feeling like some more GA flying today, man. So we're just going to take some hops here in Hawaii, flying for small private charter executive. Even though the tail says November 693 Papa Delta, we are going to be November 318 to Delta Sierra with a special request that was met up there. So without further ado, let's get started. We are in Hilo or Hilo. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I'm going to pronounce it Hilo, Hawaii, and we on the on Kona. And we're going to head to Wailuku and go to Kailua first and then over to Honolulu. I guess is the plan. And then perhaps a return trip should time allow us. First one, we got 6 packs, 983 pounds of fuel. So let us come over here. And let's see, let's work the fuel first. 6 and 6, about 12. That should be fine. Let's get it more like 5 each tank. If we do 550, that'll be 1,100 pounds of fuel just on the off note. And let's get the weights here going. I'm 175. We'll say I got a first officer. We'll say they're 160. And we'll make this person here 129. This person will be 134. We need 2 pipsqueaks over here. Do about 200 pounds. Baggage. Let's go ahead. Load that. Alright, so let's see what it gave us. We're just going to assume all the passengers have gotten on, so let's close the doors because it is extremely loud. There we go. Let's get rid of the covers and boom. Alright, so let's see if I have ATC on here. There was some ATC, not sure if they stayed on or not, and looks like they definitely got off. So no ATC here. Let's go ahead and stop the music and let's get this thing powered up here, and then we'll be taking off and we'll check the weather and so on and so forth. Alright, so if we were technically just going to run first start of the checklist today, we could come here and check these, pack seats, parking brake, all this good stuff, ignition switch and pumps. Because it's a simulator world, we're going to assume that this stuff is good. But let's just take a look at a few things we do want to check. So let's get rid of this armrest. Let's put that up here. Probably in the real world, I would leave those down, but because we are in a virtual world. All right, the throttles are in the idle position, and the fuel conditioners are in the cutoff. Feather position, flaps are indicated up, and finally, parking brake is set. Sorry about that. It's how I have my seat, man. All right. So we got external power available, so let's first turn on the standby bus. And then we are going to turn battery 1 and battery 2 on. We'll drop some external power. Then we can go avionics 1 and 2. Then, of course, let's get you guys some of those controls there, because we're going to start using our controls there. I'd like for you guys to see that so you can see what's going on. James, man, ¿qué pasó, papá? Como tú sabes, gracias por acompañarnos otra vez, papá. Andas bien loyal aquí en la canal. Muchísimas gracias por eso. Alright, so we're going to start initializing our Reality GTN 750. And we got the controls on for you guys now. We got external power on. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's use our controls there. Get our nav light going on. Okay, that's good so far. And let's go ahead and throw in the flight plan before we check the weather. Actually, let's belay that last. Let's actually check the weather. Alright, there's CTAF weather 040 at 6 knots. So let's use this charts here, because if we use the charts over there, we'll use them towards the end, but this ends up giving me easier access to the charts here. Okay, so the winds are out of the east, northeast, 040, 6 knots. So we'll take runway 3. So that's good. Let's go ahead and rock this out now. Flight plan, pretty simple. It's first leg is 34 minutes of flying. Okay, it's got us going to the Hilo VOR 2022 Ocala. All right, so we'll probably end up going direct to Ocala. There's the Hilo VOR. Then we're going to enter airway Victor 22. And Ocala. We'll be exiting that airway there. And we pick up the other airway, Victor 16. We're going to exit that at the Upolu Point VOR. Let's load that. We enter another airway, which is Victor 2. And Harpo's our exit there. We'll load that. And then we'll go ahead and load in the airport there. It's got us on the camps 4. So let's go ahead and load that procedure. On arrival, camps 4, Harpo. Load that. Let's check the weather. Hallelujah. Weather Kalalui 050. Now this is where I will come here. So 050. Okay, we can take runway 2. And what type of approaches do we have? Let's go the Yankee. Okay, and there's camps. And we got a procedure turn. I did fly this the other day, so we're going to hit the procedure turn, but this aircraft likes to hit the procedure turn and come back this way. Once we hit the procedure turn, we need to actually pass through it and come back around. So we'll fly straight past it and come back around and rejoin in a right-hand format. So we'll see what that looks like. Final approach course heading is 24. 110.1 is the ILS, which is already in there from the other flight from the other day, so this is good. We don't have any ATC. They were on earlier, but they typically, it's hard to tell. So let's straighten this up first with an approach. We're gonna go ILS 02. Transition is gonna be camps. Fly course reversal at camps. We're gonna say yes. We're gonna load the approach. Now let's look at this hold here. No, that's not what I want to do. Technically, I want to leave it. But I wish there was a way that I could see everything 3,000 feet. Camps. Let's come here, and we got to take a look at the arrival. Because we got to measure what type of altitudes we should be at. Absolutely, camps above 3,000. So the distance between Harpo and camps is 5, so we need to be Harpo 37. So we'll make for that. Let's save that. And then that should be the only vertical navigation that we need. Of course, everything else is going to say 3,000. And then Tebs 24. And then we should be on to the runway. Which is good. So now departing out of here. Okay, terrain is on. Let's go back to the flight plan, see if we get a preview. Preview. So, if we come in, my main concern is how we're departing out of here. Okay, guys, we're leaving out of runway 3, so then more than likely we're going to come out of the water, and then we're going to make a left turn to Ocala. So we'll fly runway heading, and then we'll go direct to Ocala. You know, once we get some altitude there, maybe like passing through 3,000 or 4,000, we'll go ahead and make our turn there to Ocala. So, not bad at all, folks. All right. Now that we've got power on the bird, we reset the fuel. Let's go ahead and reset the totalizer. So we got 1455. A little bit more fuel than we wanted, but for whatever reason, that's what it put in there. So, date's looking good. Fuel's looking good. And I believe it's almost time to start. The engine up, guys. Let's type in these or put in these altimeter setting. Just 3002. And we are looking good. All right. Tatted up lid, bro. You flying on the jet card yet? What's up with you, my G? Retired is in the house, man. Good to see you, my G. Good to see you. Good to see everybody, man. All right. Let's, we don't have ATC, so we'll set our climb altitude to 16,000 feet. So 16,000 feet is in there. And we've got our altimeter set 3002. Let's come here now. We're going to lose these. That's the only thing I don't like about this. As soon as you come back over here, we got to put all that back in, but that's okay. Let's do a quick checklist here. We're not going to run the checklist every time today, but we are going to do the before start. So we're going to assume pre-flight is completed. Logbook and papers are on. Pogo chocks and covers are removed. Parking brake is set, which we confirmed. Doors are closed. 5 green and /6 green are good. Seats and seat belts adjusted fasten. We did all that. Seats and seat belts. Okay, so the EPS, let's test then on. Okay, we got our ELT. That's looking good. Okay, here we go. There's our EPS. We're going to test it. Battery test looks good. And then armed. Okay. Batteries on, 20 volt, landing gear handles down, master caution warning. We already reset that. Inertial separator will open that up prior to start. Fuel control lock, NA, because we don't have one. Fuel quantity reset check, we already did the totalizer. The MOR, we stowed all the way back. And the PCL is in the idle detent, which is our control levels right here, which we checked already. And then, of course, the conditioner lever was in the fuel cutoff there, so that's all good. Let's come here, guys, and let's open up that inertial separator. And like I said, we won't be doing this every time. We'll just do this kind of first flight. All right, GPU connected, external power on, voltage 28. We'll clear it out, propel air on 2 seconds. Check stable at 13%. We'll introduce fuel. At 50% stable, we'll cut the starter out. External power switch off. That's good. Okay, so generators come on after we get it crack-a-lacking. So we're good to go, guys. Let's go ahead and get this to standby, even though it does absolutely nothing. We're just going to simulate. Okay, that was that fuel pump there. All right. We are going to just go ahead and put this on Alt now. Otherwise, I might forget. And prop area is clear. Calling out starting the engine. Okay. Let's go ahead and go with our beacon light on. Boom, boom, boom. Bats on. All right, here we go, folks. All right, looking here at the NG rise. 12, 12, 13. You can hear those igniters. Okay, igniters extinguished. All right, folks, the frequency here is 18.1. All right, engine is stable, so you guys know what we got to do. We got to come here, and we're going to go to aircraft options, external power off, and we're going to go generator reset, and then on. Generator on, inverter on, and let's get external power off. All right, we are good here.
Warning, autopilot trim.
All right, we'll load that back. Of course, it's going to give us a hard time just because we're reloading back into it, so I'll have to get the stuff going back here in a second. Let's go ahead and run our, oops, I hate when it does that every single time. Got to do it right on the button. There we go. Test that autopilot. All right, pretty much we can just put in our destination airport here. We'll just load the airport for now because we'll use the GPS or the GTN 750 for navigation on the ground. All right, now that the autopilot trim is done, let's go ahead and set flaps to 15 because we'll have to do that for the pusher test. Let's go ahead and turn our environmental control system on, and we'll get the pidotes and the everything heated up here in a second. All right, let's go ahead and trim up here. We're going to trim our aileron, our yaw, and our pitch if necessary. So let's start with the yaw trim. Trimmed up a little bit on the aileron trim, and oops. Let's go a little bit up. Oops, wrong situation there. Okay, let's go a little bit up. Let's look at that a different way here. There we go. Alright, trims are all good to go. Let's run the pusher test. Pusher test, flaps are selected and indicated 15. Initial separator is on. Okay, let's give it a little juice here. Alright, here we go. Alright. Pusher test is complete, and on the annunciator it's all gone. So now we can turn our prop and our probes, no smoking, system on. Just a recirculation, it's not that hot here today. And all the power gets lit, external power is off. And it's time for flight controls check. Rudder right, and rudder left, rudder right, and toe brake, and it works. Okay. Alright. 18-1. Alright, there we are. I will set this as our standby for Unicom. And there we go. We are ready to go, so we are going to be making a north departure, straight out. And then we'll be on to direct waypoint. Let's go ahead and straighten up some stuff here. Let's come here really quick and let's see what that runway heading is here. It looks like runway heading is so we're just typing 031 for the most part here. Zero 3-1 for the heading. We're going to go ahead and just put it into the heading mode. Then, of course, we get to come back here to our map, and this is where we're going to go ahead and type that in. Then, of course, we can zoom in, and we can see that we're taking Alpha, or as you were, Charlie, down to runway 3. And then we'll be out on the north. Helo traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is a PC-12. On the southwest ramps, we'll be taxiing runway 3 via Charlie for a northern departure, and then we'll be out to our first waypoint, Ocala, after achieving 3,000 or higher for Helo traffic. Alright guys, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and get the taxi light on, and recognition, strobe, and wing, and landing we'll get as we get ready to go onto the runway there. Let's do a fit check here. Alright, let me check this bat comms. Alright, looking good. Back in we go. Okay guys, welcome aboard. And we got heading. Let's also set up our climb here. While we're turning out, we can get this ready for our flight time. And of course, while I'm flying, I'm going to start getting rid of my own cell phone there. All you guys need to see is the hand controls, which I'd probably leave up the whole flight. And I'll get you guys the overlay here shortly. Okay, we don't see any traffic inbound. We don't hear any traffic. Kilo traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra on Charlie will be soon entering runway 3 for immediate departure out to the north up to 3,000. Then we'll be on to our first waypoint of Ocala. Kilo traffic. Alright, guys. Let's go ahead and get strobes on, all lights on. Final looks clear. Nothing to see. Alright, let's tap the brakes here. We'll let the fuel settle down. We're going to go full on the fuel conditioners. The transponder is squawking mode normal. And of course, now we can go ahead and start the timer. Timer started. Takeoff power is set. About 80 knots. And rotate. Positive rate. Gears coming up. Kilo traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, clear runway 3. We are climbing on runway heading up to 3,000, then onto our waypoint of Ocala. Last call, kilo traffic. Alright, yaw damper on. And let's nose down a little bit here. I want to pick up to about 140. Let's trim it down a little bit. First stage of flaps coming up. Once we get to about 140, we're going to go ahead and go into our IIS. Alright, we're now in an IIS climb, so indicated airspeed climb. This aircraft climbs optimally between, let's say, 120 and 140 indicated. Flaps are up. We're going to fly up to about at least 2,500 before we make our deviation over there. Okay, there's 25. Okay, we'll activate that. And we're going to go to the nav mode now. So we're off to our first waypoint, Ocala. Yaw dampers on. Climbing about 2,000 feet per minute. Okay, this engine performance is good. We're at 98% on the climb. ITT and torque are looking good. Alright, let's get right on those flight directors and we'll go right on the autopilot here. Okay, autopilot's engaged, right on those flight directors. Landing gear up, flaps up. And we can go with the taxi and landing off because they don't show anymore. They're on the strut. And we'll leave wing and recognition on for now. Alright, direct to Ocala. And as you can see originally, if we would have turned sharper, we could have basically came back here, but nope. That's exactly what we wanted there. 4 minutes into our flight, not doing bad. 7,000. Yeah, climbing right at 140 indicated there. It's looking good. All right. Very short flights today. Alright, getting ready to come up on 10,000 there. Aircraft is still climbing at about 1,200 feet per minute. Torque, ITT, and the NG look good. We're just at 98%. Alright, we're above 10. Can Go with wing and recognition off. So this is pretty simple here. We're just gonna mirror this and then come to about right here, and then we'll be straight in here into Kailua. So far, so good. Let's go ahead and switch it over to Unicom. So 18.7 is the is Kalalui's tower. We got 110.10 for the ILS, and let's see, we'll get our final approach course fix here and there soon. And it essentially looks like the altimeters are the same, 3002. Winds are gusting 14 to 25 there in Kailua. Kailua, so more than likely we won't be on a full flaps landing. Let's check the decision height. Decision height is 220. Let's verify that in fact it's for ILS 2. Alright, there's the decision height. Ooh. Alright, our decision height for landing is 220. That's in there. And we'll be on this for another 9 miles. Let's see what the final approach course is. 24. Alright, we squared up the heading. Let's go to heading really quick. Go to CDI. And let's get that course 24 in there. Alright, we got our course 24 in there. Back to GPS and back to nav. There we go. Now, of course, since we're back on the GPS for our HSI, the course is just going to be whatever the course is from the GPS, not reading the ILS, because then we'll switch back onto VLOC. Alright guys, we are set up and we are about 1,300 from the top of climb. And then we'll come in and look and see what top of descent looks like. If we do happen to go up, we're about within 1,000 feet of our top of climb. We do go miss there. We're going to climb to 3,000 outbound on the Kailua VOR. Radial 23 to Crane, which is 13 miles DME from the Kailua VOR. All right, doing good here. Gracias por preguntar, James. La familia anda buena. Gracias. Todo bien. Con bendiciones de Dios. ¿Y tu papá, cómo está tu familia? Tu hermana, tu hermano, sus papás. Alright, as you can see, we made our 16,000. Altimeter is just going to stay right where it's at because that's also the destination field's altimeter. And you can see our vertical speed indicator, or VSI, has neutralized itself and has keep the wings level. And we are cooking with Crisco, folks. Now, as that's happening, we can get a better understanding of what our descent looks like based off of Harpo at 37. We have 8 minutes to the top of descent. Very short flights. Qué chévere escuchar, papá. Todo chévere. All right. All right, we got about 5 minutes until our top of drop. Five minutes. Okay, I'll be back really quick. I think I got enough. Just go get some water. I shall return momentarily, my G's. Alright, folks, I am back. We got for our top and drop a minute, perfect timing. Let's go ahead and set our target altitude down to not, well, we're going to set it down to 3,700 feet here.
Vertical track.
Alright, top of descent in 1 minute. We'll be setting about 1,300 feet per minute on the descent. Okay, about half a minute there. Alright, and here we go. Pull that power back slightly. So you can see here, we're going to be coming in to the Apulu point, which is the VOR. And then from there, we're on a heading of 2904 for 46 miles to Harpo. Okay, we just passed up. Now we're on to Markin. Pretty close, 295 heading. Probably some wind variation there. Check the flight plan out. Harpo, camps, procedure turn. Perfect. Now there's no ATC. If there was, we'd worry about more of that correct procedure turn. But we're just going to let the aircraft fly it how it flies it. Okay, we're about 1,300 feet descending. Target's 1356, we're good. Bottom of descent in 7 minutes. We should be at the waypoint prior to that. And we're 24 minutes into what was projected, I believe, to be a 34-minute flight. Alright, 21 miles to go. Let's go ahead and descend a little more aggressively. For edification, once we get into Kalalua, we're just going to be off to the right here, probably Foxtrot, between Foxtrot and Kilo, anywhere on here. Got general aviation, transit parking, all on this side, and so that's what we'll be. Kahului. I'm pretty sure I've been messing up all these names. Alright, let's get our wing light and recognition light on. Especially around here where there's a lot of commercial air traffic and hops in these small little island bands. Okay, we're gonna have to slow this aircraft down quite a bit and increase our rate of descent. Okay, we've got the ILS in there already. We're going to pass through this island here, and then there's where there's a little break until these two masses here, and we're going to snake in right here. Alright, we're going to be at 3,700 feet here, pretty good. Alright, back to 98 on the NG. Torque is still looking good. ITT is looking good. J-Bad in the house, man. He says he's looking for his new GA rate. The aircraft out of 10. What do you think? This is the Thranda version, and Thranda makes really good GA aircraft, especially here for X-planes. So I'm gonna give this a 9. And honestly, I don't know why I'm not giving it a 10, but I'm sure there's something. Oh, well, okay. In a perfect world, don't have this thing in here if it's not going to work. So yeah, a 9 for sure for this. Because this doesn't work. This is just like something they put in there, but no matter what you do, it doesn't work. So other than that, that would be my rating. That would be my rating, my G. If you still here, J-Bad, what do you fly, my G? What is your GA aircraft of choice? Okay, guys, you can see now we're direct to camps. We're going to slow down so that we can fly this procedure turn appropriately. So let's slow our roll down. I have King Air and CL650. Hey, no doubt. I love the King Air. You got the Airfoil Labs King Air, J-Bad? You got the King Air 350i. That's the one I fly as well. I think that's a very good high fidelity aircraft. Yes, sir. That's the one. Who knows, on the way back all the way to Hilo, we might even fly that one. I just got to put the prop conditioners in here. But yeah, my G, that's the one. Alright, you guys can see here we're flying that procedure turn or hold on the chart. Even though this aircraft must be the way that it wanted to follow that hold, but it is the opposite of what the hold is. Let's go ahead and switch to Kahului traffic. Kahului traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra is a PC-12. Currently flying the procedure hold camps. Will report back inbound on final full stop runway 2 for Kahului. Okay, here's our turn, folks. Hey, 501 Aviator, I agree. I actually have the Challenger 650. I need to fly that for you guys. I need to get some stuff binded to it, but yeah, it's the GOAT. Such nice systems and modeling. For real, for real. Okay, roger that, my G. We'll have to set that up. I got to get that on stream for you guys. Kahului traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra, complete with procedure turn. We are back inbound to camps, expecting full stop runway 2, Kalalui. Alright guys, we can start our descent down to basically 2400.
Vertical track.
Keep it about 190 for now. And then once we get on course there, we'll be good to go. I'll go ahead and get our localizer activated. So for this first leg, we probably, more than likely, will not do a replay, a landing replay, just so we don't have to restart the sim. Because you know with X-Plane, you better restart it, boy. Especially after a replay. Alright, just to reconfirm, we need TEBs at 2,400 feet. That's correct. We'll be at TEBs at 2,400 feet. Well established. Okay guys, you can see the glide slope just coming alive, as well as the localizer. So now that we are all squared up, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and go center on the heading. Okay, we got the heading squared up, so we're going to go to heading mode. We're going to come here now. You can see it's on the V-lock, so now we can go ahead and the localizer is captured. Doing what localizers do. Speed is good. About 180 now, which is good. We'll start slowing it up here in a second. I like to get where we need to be early, especially if there's no ATC or heavy traffic. So once our glide path or a vertical profile becomes active, then we'll go ahead and get the aircraft slowed down and get configured. Don't forget, the mist is to climb to 3,000 outbound on the OGG VOR radial 032 to Crane, which is 13 DME from the Kalalui VOR. What does that look like here? In our flight plan, let's make sure it's in. 560s, what we start climbing. 3,000 crane hold, 1 minute holds. So it's definitely in there. Okay, looks like we're on a 11-mile nautical final. 10 nautical mile final. You can also verify your DME here. So from camps to Tebs it's 9.2 miles, and then 3.7, and then 2.3 here at the Kalalui. Well, the IOGG is actually the ILS. So as you can see, everything lines up. I have the runway in sight. Power's coming way back. Before we start that descent. That's looking beautiful. See that? We pulled that power back. Okay, now we're into the first stage flaps. Kalalui traffic. Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra, 8 mile final, runway 2, full stop. Alright, folks. Let's get her done. Autopilot off. Landing gears on the way down. We got resistance on the bird, so now we're going to add some prop in there. Next stage flaps. Keep that inertia separator open. We should have closed it during our stage of flight. That's okay though. All lights on. Looks good. And we will be landing at flaps at 30 degrees just because of those wind gusts. Kalalui traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierras on a 5 mile final, runway 2, full stop. Beautiful approach speed. Now at 4 nautical miles. And we'll get here and get this next set of private charter passengers. See what we got crack-a-lackin', my G's. Alright, here shortly we'll get the yaw damper off. Two right, two red. We are on glide. Gears down 3 green. Flaps are selected and indicating 30 degrees. All lights are on. Check. Yaw dampers off. Okay, lining up for wind correction here. Okay, we are going to decrease our speed now to 90 knots. That'll be our final approach speed. Feeling those wind gusts, my G's. Keep that prop in. Continue. A little bit of a crab into the wind, so we'll be hitting a little bit of rough left rudder here. Alright, bring that power back slightly. Got a little floaty. And runway's nice and long. We don't need to go into beta. We'll dump those flaps. Guys, welcome to Kahului. Here's Foxtrot. As promised. And fuel's coming down. Kahului traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra on Foxtrot is clear of runway 2 into the ramp, Kahului. Alright. Landing light. Strobe.
Warning, trim.
Get that recognition off. And we'll get that wing off. Look at that. They got some Piaggios in this bad boy. All right, folks. Let's go flight director off. There's a lot more stuff we could do if we had an actual first officer. Let's back in idle. Let's go ahead and get the taxi light off. And we'll get that red beacon off here shortly. Let's go ahead and get rid of all this good stuff here. Seat belts can come off. System can come off. And we are going to turn generator 2, inverter off. And Gen 1 off here. And we'll go
Warning,
avionics.
avionics bus.
Avionics bus off. And let's go to standby. Into that. Alright, all generators off. Avionics 1 off. There we go. Okay, beacon and nav coming off. Boom, boom, boom.
Warning, essential bus.
That 2. Standby bus. Alright. We made it, my G's. I don't know what the landing rate was, but hopefully it was a good one. Let's go with all doors. And we'll put the GPU on, even though. Alright. We did it, man. All right. Very windy, so I don't even know what I slammed her down at. All right. Remember, we're not doing a replay on this one, so let me join myself back here for you guys. And let's get ready to get the next boarding. All right. Just gonna work on some stuff here. It's been a pleasure so far hanging out with you, G's. Alright, this next flight is 28 minutes. Let me pre-file this. James, me estás preguntando si cuando voy a comprar Microsoft 24. Ya tengo el 24 y ya hizo un montón de streams usando el Microsoft 2024. So, ¿cuándo voy a comprar o cuando compré? Alright, let me check one thing here, my G's, and then we'll be on our way. Alright, my G's. Sorry about that. Let's get back on board. And we got the GPU on. We're going to say all passengers just got back on so we can get rid of that redonkulous noise. Let's go to aircraft weight and balance. And this is essentially what we want. Same thing. CG's looking good. There we go. All right, we just doing turns all day today, my G's. Let us let's get back crack-a-lackin'. Okay, yep, still no. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get a METAR, which should pretty much be the same as we had. We already know. 18.7, yep, still 30300. Winds have shifted. It was 05014 gust in 25. Now it's 05016 gust in 24. Temperatures 29 degrees Celsius. Fuel clouds at 3,000. Fuel at 5,000. Altimeter 3000. All right. Okay, let's get rid of this tunage. And let's get back to it, folks. That last landing, you know, it just felt appropriate to what the weather was. So all these Hawaii Islands, we're gonna be pretty much gusting a lot of those. External power, avionics 1, 2. Boom. Open that inertial separator. And bada bingsters, bada boomsters. Okay, cool. $18.7. Let's go here with the fuel totalizer. Reset. Okay. Gonna test our stores chip. Everything looks good with that test there. All right. Let me see what we're flying out on this one. We got our warnings there. We are doing 14,000. Let's come first officer side really quick. This is for pressurization, about 14.5. That little tick right there, 14.5. There we go. And altimeter, of course, is 3000. Don't really worry too much about that side. And winds are still favorable to runway 2. Let's just see something here. Yeah, runway 2, so we'll just back taxi and take off. And let's look at what the situation is. Yeah, we got plenty of room to go out and get on course, whatever we got to do. All right. So, departing out of here, we're not using just a straight out departure. We're actually departing on the Maui 5, then we're back to the Kahului VOR, and then basically on to an arrival. Now you got to be careful because sometimes SimBrief will give you stuff that you're not authorized to do, so let's go check exactly what I'm talking about. And that's more or less referring to procedures that are not for turbo prop aircraft. A lot of these procedures are really for sometimes just for jets, so we'll see what we got here. Alright, so airport 9, boom. This is us just taking a look at what we got there. Let's see. So where we kind of want to be is basically in this area here. Okay, that's the Joint Base, Air National Guard. Yeah, so we'll look and see if runway 4 right is in the cards, because this is where we want to be. The larger, more commercialized aircraft are going to be over here. So 4 right and or 4 left. It looks like using Charlie to come back around. Now landing this thing, if we land on 4 right, we can definitely exit at Delta Echo. If we land at 4 left, probably if not going to make Echo, so all the way down to Charlie, stick to Charlie all the way around, cross runway 4 right, continue down. Let's get the winds for Honolulu, because this flight is even shorter than the last, so it's going to be a lot busier. And other aircraft are usually flying into Honolulu. So Honolulu is pretty much similar. Winds are at out of the east-northeast, 11 gusting 21. Altimeter is 3003. So as soon as we get up in the air, we'll probably start switching altimeter to that. Cloud ceiling is a little lower there. It's 2,500. Few clouds anyway. Scattered at 5,000 feet, which is fine. So this is appropriate. So now let's look at our arrival. Arrival is on the Jules 5, or the Jewel 5. Transition Lanai VOR, so here. Now let's make sure this doesn't just say for... Got to read all the information on it, because we want to make sure it's not for aircraft or speeds from Jewel. Radio expect vectors, the final approach course. Okay, and let's see, is there a narrative for a runway? So no, this is kind of a standard, if you will, arrival. The only prerequisite here at Jewel is that you be below 14,000. You can see turbojets, expect clearance here, and to be under 14,000 feet. So runway 4s should be over here. So if we orientate ourselves again, you can see you got the 1 runway here, and then you got the 2 runways that cross it that way. So So boom, 2 runways in 1. So there you go. So here's the 2 runways in 1 right here. Here's 4 right and 4 left. So from Alana, we can come up here and almost straight in. So we'll see on the approach. Let's look at the approaches here. So you got everything set up for, now 4 left you can get RNAV, so 4 right seems to be the thing to do here. And we've got ILS Yankee 4 right. We got the equipment on board to catch lateral and vertical navigation. This one is on an ARC initial approach fix Alana, so that looks like that's what we need to do. Let's check the Zulu and see what Zulu is bringing in. Zulu also uses ARC procedure not authorized for arrivals at Alana on Victor 16 eastbound. We won't be on Victor 16 eastbound. Let's just double check that. Okay, that's a radio. And let's see the difference here on the Yankee. Required procedure entry. 3 degree. ILS glide path not coincide. Alright, yep, goo will be the turn to final. 3,000. So we'll be descending at 3,000 here. That's 13.9 DME. So Alana, we can easily be at 4,000. So let's use the Yankee. So out of here, let's load procedure. Gonna load that departure. And I believe we're on the Maui 5. We're doing runway 2. Okay. Load departure. So it's just a vector. Basically, we take off flying runway heading, because that's runway heading, out, and then we come back. And then, of course, it brings us back to the OGG, which is the Maui VOR. I was calling that the Kahului one, but there you go, Maui. And because that's the island of Maui, it makes sense. And then we can add our waypoint here, or our destination. Let's load the procedure. We got to get on that arrival first. We said Jewel 5s. We're doing that here. And load arrival. And then Alana would be the last one. And then so we just come in here now, load another procedure, load the approach. And we already agreed on the ILS 4 right Yankee. And we can take that from Alana right here. And we load that approach. Bye, Yao. Now we can come here and kind of get a preview of our flight. So what does this look like? This looks like us taking off here, coming out, essentially vectoring ourselves all the way back around to the Maui VOR. And then we're going to pick up, essentially, right here, which is right on the arrival. Okay, so very short flight. Probably did more briefing than anything. So we're good, though. All right, let us come back here. We're still gonna go to GPS, even though I will fly it, and then we will do what we need to do. So we got 14,000 feet. Heading will be something. We'll get all that situated. Okay, let's make sure doors are closed, which they should be. Aircraft option, all doors, GPU's on. Alright, let's get ready to start this bad boy up. Nav lights are on, beacon lights on, gen batteries, bada bing, bada boom. Fuel is in the cutoff feather, and the PCL is down in the idle position. Parking brake is checked, in fact, and we are all ready to go. Nothing here on the gens yet. Fuel totalizer has been reset. And starting. Prop clear. $13. Alright, so let's get you a few things while this thing starts up. Get you the guys that, and get you guys this, and get me out of there, and we are ready to roll. Okay, GPU's off. Let's go reset. Gen 1, Gen 2, inverter. External power's off. That's looking good. Let's go ahead and go flaps 5 for takeoff. And while that's happening, let's run the trim. Let's run the autopilot test, and then we'll get our trim squared away. All right. Let's.
Warning, trim.
And specifically, she is definitely referring to this one, the elevator trim. So we are almost there. Okay, trims are all set back up. We got our rudder trim here, and then we have our aileron trim. So trims are all G'd up, good to go. Now we can put this on for heading. We can do a vertical speed climb. Go about there. We're going to do heading 24. Runway heading. 300 on the altimeter. Okay, and now we got to do the pusher test. Alright, let's see. That's open, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. Aileron left, aileron right. Rudder right, rudder left, toe brake, functional, parking brake. And let's get the rest on now. Prop, probes, no smoking seat, system, recirculation looks good. And we are on frequency 18.7. Let's make sure we do our squawk Charlie, which we are. Laps are set, and we are ready to go. Fuel is confirmed. Trims, flaps. All right. Let's look at taxi here. Okay, we'll go back. Okay, we're going to hit Foxtrot, and we're going to do a back taxi. I'm not going to come around just to come around. We're going to hit Foxtrot, and I'm going to cheat a little bit. We'll do a back taxi. We'll just back taxi already, since it's just us, instead of doing all that crazy stuff. Kahului traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra Pilatus PC-12 at the General Aviation Transit parking. We will be taking runway 2, departing on the Maui 5. We'll be taking Foxtrot, back taxi runway 2. We'll call on runway for back taxi for Kahului traffic. Alright guys, taxi lights on. Bada bing, bada boom, that's all we need. Alright, let's ease out of here very carefully. Taxiway's clear. Kahului traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra on Foxtrot. We'll be entering runway 2 for back taxi. We'll call clear runway. Alright, let's just check the runway really quick. Alright, all lights on. Let's get this recognition and wing light on as well. I'll call Louis traffic. Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra now on runway 2 back taxi. We'll call clear of black taxi for Kahului traffic. Alright, now runway back taxi speeds are a little bit different than taxi speeds. So we can kind of give us some juice here. Kahului traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra is lined up on runway 2 We'll be departing here in 30 seconds on the Maui 5. We'll call departing runway here shortly. Alright. Let's get this straight here. We never cleared that. There we go. Alright, fuel's coming up. One last check. All lights are on. Confirm. Fuel is looking good. No alerts or no alarms. And time is running. Honolulu traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra taking off runway 2, time now on the Maui 5. We'll call clear runway. Okay, takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. And rotate. Let's fly runway heading here. Positive rate, gear up. Little aileron trim here, or correction, elevator trim. Honolulu traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra is clear of runway 02, climbing runway heading, last call. Flaps coming up. Indicated airspeed. Yaw damper on. Okay guys, gears up, flaps are selected up and indicated, yaw damper is on. After takeoff checklist is complete. Okay, we'll get up to about 2,000 feet. Okay guys, we're going to be inbound back to the Maui VOR. And then that'll give us a nice, there's the runway there. We're nice and high above the field as to not interfere with aircraft that are expressly departing the field. So let's check when we're supposed to close that inertial separator. Let's get those strut lights off. Should have been off anyway. Gear flaps, taxi, climb power set, side okay. Now the inertial separator is off after 10,000 feet is what it looks like. Alright, let's get here and get ready to come on autopilot here. Okay, autopilot's engaged. Right on those flight directors. Alright, 8,000. Alright. 6 minutes in. Okay, let's get that inertial separator closed. We can go wing off and recognition off. Alright, 10.5 and 42. 10.5, so we're putting that in. 10.5 and 42, 250. Okay, his decision height set for 250. 110.5, 110.5. So now we just need to set our approach course to 42. We got 22 miles on this heading, so we should be okay. So let's center the heading by pushing the heading up. And we'll go heading. We'll go here. And the final approach course on this one is 42. And 42. There you go. Alright. Back to nav. Actually, let's take that off. It was armed for a VOR. We got to switch it back. And then back on nav now. Should be no change. And now we're already set up for our runway 4. Let's get to top of climb, which you can hear we're just doing. You can see the vertical speed indicator bringing that speed or that climb down to 0 and wings level. Oops, sorry, it goes into my seat there a little bit. Let's come here and see where the VNAV has got us set up. So, yep, goo. 3,000. see, on this arc, 13.9. Okay, 9 minutes. So once we get to Lanai, 10, 28, 50. Okay, so from Lanai to Alana should be about 57 miles total. Here, 15, 12. Plus another 20. Yeah, it's about 57 aggregated. And we can double check that in here as well. See, 7, 17. 17, 19, 24, let's see, 34, 36, 36, 41, and then plus 21. This is where the arc starts here at Yepgu. Or actually, I take that back. Yepgu is the turn to final. Alana is the arc. Alright folks, we're doing good. If anybody's interested in there, if you guys want to fly the King Air all the way back to Hilo, you guys let me know. There's a possibility Dispatch is asking us to take the King Air 350. What do you guys think? I think it's a good idea. Maybe we'll do one flight back from Honolulu straight back to Hilo. We'll see what that looks like. The funny thing is, something goes wrong in Honolulu, the alternate is actually back to the island of Maui, and we'll go back to Kahului. Okay, next flight will be 50 minutes, which is good. All right. The good thing is, we didn't miss anything as far as our VNav, because we're going to get a vertical track here in about 35 seconds. So let's go ahead and buck down to 4,000. About 18 minutes, or 18, now 16 seconds until we get vertical track. Looks like Stan Wynn is in the house. Tropical storms formed in the West Pacific. Oh, man.
Vertical track.
Okay, there's our minute warning. As you can see here, it's counting down. Okay, 30 seconds. And it looks like we're going to need to do at least requirement of 1,270 feet per minute, so rounding up to 1,300 feet per minute. All right, about 10 seconds. Back on that. Come back on the prop a little bit and start our descent. Alright, let's see if we can ascertain. Okay, there's 2 towers, so I don't know if it's going to be 18-1 or not. Let's check it out here. So 18-1. Winds are 070, 10 gusting 18, so they did switch a little bit. Altimeter is 3002. So we're below flight levels, approaching our field, which is the most notable one. So we'll go ahead and set our altimeter setting to that. And of course, let's put 18-1 in standby. Let's do some here. Alright, at 10,000 we'll get the recognition light on, which in this aircraft, that means that's going to be our flashing lights. Okay, we're overhead jewel now. Alright, 21 miles. Yeah, it's called Jangmi. It's expected to become a typhoon, he says. 3 more days until hurricane starts. Oh, man. And I'm assuming your name is Stan, or ST Win. Do you live in the Pacific Islands? Maybe Hawaii, Guam, the Philippines? Or actually, Win, that's a Vietnamese name. What part of the world are you in, my friend? Are you in Hawaii? Are you in Cali? Now, any storms that come off the Pacific, I live in California, so okay, roger that. I live in California, so the remnants of the storms will come off of the Pacific Ocean to us. We are actually flying in Hawaii right now. Alright, let's bring that speed back a little bit, and let's verify that we still have the right glide path here. The 13, okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, Jangmi's heading to Japan. Roger that. Roger that. Appreciate it, man. Got our own live weather update right here. Live storm update. Once we get on the arc, we'll start tapping into the field. We got about 7 miles until we start the arc. So let's now switch our... So here's the arc. We're going to come left and pick up the arc. Let's re-verify that there is in fact no procedure turn, which there's not. Boom, right into the arc. Then debris. Arc to Yepgu, debris. These are all on final. Okay, we're going to just go ahead and bug down to 3,000 feet and come up a little bit on the Alright, let's go ahead and switch it over. Honolulu traffic, November 318 Delta Sierra, Pilatus PC-12. Now overhead Alana joining the arc for the ILS Yankee runway 4 right. Expecting full stop. We will call turn to final for Honolulu traffic. Alright guys, we're on that arc. So from Yepgu to DeBerry is 6. We're going to keep our speed up. We're going to set our target for 2. Okay, 28 minutes, so we're late already. It was supposed to be a 28-minute flight. I'll check where it is. Right now I'm in the VATSIM radar, which has got some little bit of weather in Japan. I mean, that's what I see so far. Alright, let's focus back over here quick. Alright, now hitting our final turn, we don't want to be too fast, so let's bring that back a little bit in the power. And get ready to start our descent to 2,000, and then once we get on our final approach course, Honolulu traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra. Turn the final runway 4 right, expecting full stop. We are overhead of Yepku. Okay. All right, heading. Okay, localizer will capture because it's picking up already. So localizer is captured, guys. Final approach course of 42. We are on the final. And we are under glide. So what I can do now, speed is 280, see 190, yep, 180 right where we want. And I'll slow that descent down now, because the glide slope active, it'll pick it up either way. And from DeBerry, it should be about a 10 miles. 6 and 3 is 9, plus 4, so yeah. Remember, these winds are gusting pretty nasty. Okay, I have the runway in sight. Let's see if we can make Delta or Echo. Alright, as you guys can see, here it's dropping, so let's drop that speed once again. First stage flaps. Landing gear is coming out. Alright, landing gear's down, taxi light and landing light are on. Everything's looking good there. Speed's copacetic. Honolulu traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra on final, runway 4 right, full stop, Honolulu. Autopilot's off. We'll get ready to kill the yaw damper here shortly. 30 degrees of flaps. You can see how that wind really affected those flaps there. Tried to lift us up. Anticipation, we were ready. We'll start feeling those gusts. Closer we get down to the ground, I'll let you guys know what it feels like in ground effects here. Keep it about 100 knots. Okay, let's do our checks. Landing gears down, 3 green. Flaps are set for landing flaps, 30 degrees. All landing lights are on. Oh, we got another aircraft here, UPS 34. Power slightly back. In anticipation of ground effects, I'm letting her kind of come down because right above the numbers you'll get the ground effects. I might have been a slight slammer. I flared a little bit too late. I think we can make this turn. Alright, out of beta. Let's dump those flaps. Get that fuel down. Okay guys, we made Delta like we asked for. Honolulu traffic, Pilatus 8 Delta Sierra is clear of runway 4 right on Delta. We'll be to the ramp on Charlie, Honolulu traffic. Okay, taxi off, strobe off. See some of the big boys here. So we'll do a replay of that one.
Warning, trim.
So welcome to Honolulu. About 10 minutes extra. Sorry about that, looking down. This thing's very finicky on the rudders because of the torque of the prop. Get that recognition light off. So flying these general aviation aircraft here in Hawaii is a bit more of a challenge just because of all of the gusting wind that always happens. All right. Taxi light off. Wing off. Looking good there. Probes, boom, seat. And we can go Gen 2. Turn that inverter off. Gen 1. Let's see. Let's get that one off.
Warning, avionics bus.
All right, fam bama rooskies, we made it. Hey, appreciate you, Retired. Appreciate you, everybody, for riding on board, man. Let's do some replays on this one, man. All right, you guys, we're gonna do some replays here, and then potentially get into the King Air. All right, so I guess I'll get me off and let me log off of the network. Ooh, Honolulu Center's back on, so we might have some ATC coming up. Let's see what we get here. Alright, y'all. We're back. King Air 350 with some passengers. We're filed. I think we already got our flight plan. Let's see. We need 1924 in fuel. Alright. So, we need a total of 1920. So, we'll do... because we need basically 2,000 pounds of fuel, so we don't need... I'll do 11,108 in each tank. There we go. 12 gallons, 81. Let's see. $2,200. Okay. Let's see. All right, and let's get 9 passengers on board. Payload is 2070. It's 3, that's 660, 720, 820, plus the pound. Okay, we're well under. Gross weights in here. Max takeoff weight, so the 0 fuel weight is here. So everything's in specs here. So let's apply that. Let's close that. Let's see what other things I got to deal with here. Okay, let's close the door. Now we put the GPU on, but I'm not gonna do a GPU start. I want everything off. Alright. Let's get ready to do this. You guys don't need me anymore. Let's get the controls on. We added our conditioners here now. Alright. Music off. Let's get this party started. And let me just observe what we got here. Okay, we got a squawk. Cleared Pele, departure, Laney, transition, departure. On departure, flight heading 155, maintain 5,000. Expect 25010 minutes after departure. After departure, departure frequency is 126.5. That's cool. Alright, so we're in the King Air, so let's make sure the parking brake is set. Master avionics and power, bus. Everything is off. Fuel is in the cutoff. Okay, props. We're going to get to the full forward position for start. And so this thing is it is a, let's see, that'll connect with the bus. Okay, we're all good here. All right. And we'll check the fuel once we get on to make sure everything is in there good. So let's go, guys. Let's start this bad boy up. Okay, props are to full. So now what we're going to do is, let me check one thing here. Okay. It's like I hear a helicopter out there. Hi, love. I saw that my lovely wife just texted in. So hello, love. How you doing? All right. Let me text her really quick. Giving her a big shout out. All right. That's enough of that tomfoolery. Here we come. Let's go battery on. Okay, battery's on. We're going to go nav light on. Beacon on. So beacon's on, nav is on. And of course we do have co-pilot. Left area, prop area is clear. Right prop area is clear. So we're going to start the right prop first. Alright, there's that turbine looking for about 12. Right into low idle. Alright, at 50%. We're gonna go Alright, so with that being said, now we can get we go to gen reset and on. There we go. We can get that right inverter on. As you see, it gives us a little bit of power there, as we got one bus tied from that. Alright, repeat and rinse, second side, double check prop area. Prop area looks good. And starting engine number 1. Looking for about 12 on that turbine. Okay, stabilize. Gen up. And inverter on. We got a good start. Master avionics on. And we're also gonna turn our EFIS power on. And 2. Okay, we're missing power on 1. Okay, we got good power there. Trying to figure out why we aren't getting any good power there. We got master avionics on. Okay, let's bring this back down a little bit to low idle. And this power, let's see. Getting no power there, which is no good. I don't know why we're not getting any power there. And this is COM too, so we need this bad boy on. Let's double check our... Let's come here, because I did reload this. Let's recheck this. Master. Okay, it's the master, but we're not getting any juice. I don't know if it's a glitch. So the only other thing I can say, it's a bus. Torque, turbine, oil pressure, firewall. Boom, boom, boom. Is there any buses that popped out? Not that these are modeled anyway. Set those markers. Collapse. We're gonna do that. Boom. Oh, let's see here. Let's come to this side and see if any of these buses are modeled. So none of these buses are modeled, so I don't know what is going on here. Of why I have no power. Let's put those ties. Still nothing. Let's see if we can get this, if this makes a flight plan for us. If it doesn't change the CDI, though, we're done. Yeah, see, it's not changing the CDI or anything, which it should be. We got power to everything but this. I don't understand. Everything on the bird has power except that. And that's the main thing that we need. Alright, I really don't want to have to reload, so I think I'm going to call it here, guys. It's a lot to get off and reload and do all this stuff. And it's done this before, which, let me see if there's a repair or something I could do. Let's see. Load, save, what is this? General settings. What is this? Pretty cool, but I never use that stuff. All components are fixed. Yep, fuel quantity was good. Generators are on. Yeah, just don't know why this bad boy here is giving me a hard time. Alright then, that's going to be it for me for today. Even though we were ready to fly this bad boy, looking good. Ought to be in Hollywood, man. I'm signing off, y'all. I'm not playing the games. I appreciate you guys flying along, and at least we got the stream. I wasn't even planning to go back, but with this problem here, I'll have to get back at it. And who knows, maybe next time we'll fly this in there, guys. Stream is in about 3 hours. I'm about to get up out of here, man. So I wish each and every one of you a good rest of your Friday, and we will for sure see you on the next one, man. I'm your boy Dre, and I hope you guys, you know, have a good one. We'll see you next time. And yeah, I was really hoping to do this flight for you, but I'm not going to reload and do all that and come back in, and hopefully the ATC's on there. So I'm about done, y'all. So I'm going to get up out of here. God bless. Appreciate all y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.